Hello and welcome to News 9 Digital. I'm Pratibha. Thank you for joining me live today. Well, in a controversial move, the Chinese President Xi Jinping has asked the People's Liberation Army troops to prepare for war. Now, this comes amid the border issues with India. In fact, Jinping has called on the Chinese troops to put all their minds and energy on preparing for war, and this was during a visit to a military base. In fact, Xi Jinping has also ordered the troops to maintain a state of high alert and called on them to be absolutely loyal, absolutely pure and absolutely reliable. Now, these words come amid talks that are already underway between the two countries. On Tuesday, as we know, both the nations had agreed to focus on a mutually acceptable solution to the disengagement process that's going on as soon as possible. Now, amid these talks going on, how should one look at this statement that has been given by the Chinese president? Should we be more wary? And if this comes even as the disengagement talks are going on, what does this mean? To discuss more on this, Commodore Ranjit Rai joins me live, a defense expert. Many thanks for joining us. Commodore Ranjit Rai, how do you look at this statement that has been given by the Chinese president? Would you say this is a message to India, because this comes amid China's altercation with other countries as well?
Well, absolutely. This is a very seminal statement for the second time by President Xi Jinping. You must realize that they thought they were ruling the roost in Asia. But they have been quite surprised with what has happened in Ladakh, and our Prime Minister said about it. I mean, there is talks going on, but you must know the method of working of China. It is earlier also once President Xi Jinping said the same thing, and then we did not know Ladakh is coming. But Ladakh came, and now that Ladakh has come, and we have shown that we are not going to back off, they want to put pressure on India, because China is under pressure.
Okay.
News is going around that Xi Jinping is also under pressure. But you must know what even our own defense minister said in Parliament on the 15th of September.
Yeah.
He warned China that a war can start. We can start the war, but it will not be in our hands to stop it. So I think this is verbal pressure on India while the talks are going on.
Okay, so this is, posturing by the Chinese troops, but this is something that India has done as well. But wouldn't you say that we are not just prepared, but we are also ready to give it back in as many words? And if it means action, then that as well, isn't it?
No, that is why you have armed forces. But you must know, China is a dictatorship by the Communist Party of China, CCP. And you know what you said yourself earlier. In the words he mentioned, the armed forces must be loyal to the party.
Yeah.
Now, this is a very significant statement. He is very worried. If by chance the armed forces are not loyal to the party, then the CCP has got a problem. He has been purging a lot of senior officers. That is not a worry in India. In India, a pure democratic country with a tremendously loyal armed forces, we don't have to worry, or our leader doesn't have to worry about this. So you must wait with the final word that I must tell you. China teaches you Sun Tzu as the strategy of war.
Okay.
And it teaches you a person called Zhu Liang, 36 stratagems, which is deception. Even Ambassador Ram Saran in his lecture has said diplomats must study Zhu Liang, deception. So I can look at President Xi Jinping deceiving, saying, listen, I'm telling my people to be ready for war, but we should not take it at its face value, but try to understand what he's conveying.
Okay. Okay, but, while the disengagement talks are going on with India, would you say that this is really a message being given out to India? Because, like I mentioned earlier as well, China is also having skirmishes with the other countries as well. And quite recently, we saw what happened in Taiwan as well, arms being procured as well. So should we see it as a message to India, or perhaps is it a message to Taiwan or any other country as well?
Well, you're absolutely right. It is not only a message to us where we have got a military talks going on, but you can see the facade. 11 hours talks are carried out, and all they say is we must talk further. they would like us to back down, but we have said nothing doing. You go back. And yes, there was the National Day of Taiwan, which is called 10-10. Taiwan was not afraid. They carried out a big parade. And the Chinese Air Force went and flew aircraft for the third time. Taiwan. And unfortunately, one of the Su-32s crashed. And of course, they say it was engine failure, which I presume it was. But there is worry in China that Taiwan is not bending at all. They've put ships around it. They've fired missiles across it. But the Lady Meng of China seems to be also saying that, we are a democratic country and possibly we will stand up to you because they have a little force and they can call China's bluff.
Okay. Okay, Commodore, as far as the troops are concerned, they are ever battle ready. So this is not something that they should be looking at or should be alert about. So this is more about China ensuring some posturing in the world map because, there's a lot of narrative being built against them, what with coronavirus, with the other issues as well. That's the reason why they find a need to give out a message like this, isn't it?
Yes, and also Xi Jinping, if he's under pressure, as everybody seems to know, he's actually coughed 4 times in a recent speech which has come up all over the world, that he has to show his authority, the authority of the CCP. In India, the Prime Minister has gone out and ordered aircraft, he's ordered ammunition, he's given all facility to our troops and armed forces, and therefore we have Indian armed forces will be ready, and we showed it. This is not 1962.
Right.
And Xi Jinping has to boost the morale of his people.
Okay. All right. All right. Commodore, many thanks for joining us with your expertise on the subject. Of course, this was something that the Chinese president said, more of posturing and also wanting to boost the morale of his own troops. This comes amid the disengagement process that's already underway with India. Over 11 hours of talks, but it did not result in anything except mutually agreeing that we will work towards disengagement. So India is not ready to give in, and the Chinese, of course, wanting to give out a tough message. But India has given out its message already that we are ready for anything. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next. Take care.